Have you ever found yourself standing at a crossroads in life? You look to the left, you look to the right, and your heart feels heavy because you don't know which way to go. You wonder, is this the right path for me? Does my life really have meaning? These are not uncommon questions. Every one of us has been there, whether rich or poor, young or old. Deep inside, every human being longs for something greater than what the world can offer. Success, money, recognition, they may satisfy for a while, but they never fill the deepest void of the soul. That emptiness can only be filled when you surrender to God's will. The Bible makes it clear that your life is not random. You were not created just to exist. God designed a specific plan for you before you were even born. Psalm 139:16 declares, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." That means your story was written before you even took your first breath. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are walking in a story authored by the Creator Himself. Yet, how often do we doubt? We look back at our past, at our mistakes, and think we have ruined God's plan. Maybe you chose the wrong path, missed an opportunity, fell into sin, or wasted years. You whisper, "It's too late for me. I've messed it up." But hear this truth: nothing you have done can destroy God's eternal design. He is the Redeemer. He takes failure and reshapes it into testimony. He takes brokenness and turns it into beauty. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Look at Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. From a human perspective, his life looked like failure upon failure. But in God's plan, every step was a staircase leading him to the throne of Egypt, where he would save nations from famine. If Joseph had not been betrayed, he would never have reached his destiny. What people meant for evil, God meant for good. And the same is true for you. Your past mistakes are not the end of your story. They are only part of the foundation for God's greater purpose. God can transform pain into purpose. The tears you've cried in secret, the heartbreak you thought would destroy you, they can become the very testimony that encourages someone else. Your wounds can become windows through which others see God's grace. No brokenness is too great for the hands of the potter. Jeremiah 18 reminds us that we are clay in His hands, and even if the vessel is marred, the potter reshapes it into something new. It is never too late to return, to surrender, and to see His will unfold. Perhaps you think you are too old, that your time has passed. But Abraham was nearly 100 years old when God gave him the promised son. Moses spent 40 years in exile, tending sheep in the desert before God called him to deliver Israel. Age is no barrier for God. Delay is not denial. What He has spoken, He will accomplish. Philippians 1:6 promises, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." Right now, you may be in the middle of trials that feel unbearable. You may think you have reached a dead end. But listen, this is not the end of the road. This is preparation. God is refining you, shaping you, and equipping you for what is to come. 2 Corinthians 4:17 reminds us, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." What feels like crushing today may be the very tool God is using to prepare you for tomorrow's glory. What God asks of us is not to control everything, but to surrender to His will, to let go, to trust. Control is an illusion, and the more we cling to it, the more restless we become. But surrender brings peace. When you lay your path in His hands, He shows you step by step. He doesn't always reveal the full picture, but He gives enough light for the next step. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him,
and He will make your paths straight. Maybe you have been holding the pen of your life story too tightly, trying to write it yourself. But today, hand the pen back to God. Let Him be the author. When you do, doors open, opportunities appear, and what seemed impossible becomes possible. His will is not just good, it is perfect. Romans 12:2 tells us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Think of the many who surrendered and saw His plan unfold. Ruth surrendered her past and followed Naomi into a foreign land. God placed her in the lineage of Christ. Paul surrendered his pride and ambition on the Damascus road, and God turned a persecutor into an apostle. Jesus himself in Gethsemane prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done." That surrender opened the door to salvation for the world. Every great move of God begins with surrender. So do not fear the crossroads. Do not dwell on past regrets. Do not let age, failure, or fear convince you that your purpose is gone. God's plan is still alive, still unfolding, still moving forward. He has written a story that only you can live, and He invites you to walk it out. All He waits for is your surrender. Say to Him today, "Lord, I give you my path. I lay down my will. Let your will be done in me." And when you pray that sincerely, you will see His plan unfold before your eyes. It may not look like what you expected, but it will be greater than anything you imagined, because His plan is eternal, unshakable, and filled with blessing. Your crossroads can become your calling. Your pain can become your purpose. Your brokenness can become your breakthrough. When you surrender to God's will, you step into the story He has already written for your good, and you will discover that His plan, His timing, His way are always better than yours.